Hey, how are we doing, guys? It's High Rollin TV. Welcome back. What an incredible week 4 it was. Some great matchups. I mean, Colorado got absolutely smoked. Baylor got absolutely smoked. And a couple other teams got absolutely smoked. There were some good games, though, especially in the Big 12 and in the SEC. Let's get right into it, guys. First off, I want to go through over the Big 12 rankings for week 4. This is officially the conference play. No official lineup, obviously, but number 1, Kansas. I mean, way to go, Kansas. Rock chalk, guys. Unbelievable. They play Texas next week. An incredible matchup. I think it's going to be, it is in Austin. I'm excited for it. Leopold's doing something incredible in Kansas. Jane Daniels, he doesn't put up that much yardage, but he wins games. He gets touchdowns. And I'm so proud of Kansas. Go, guys. Texas number 2. Again, they play Kansas next week. Texas absolutely destroyed Baylor. Baylor is in shambles. They're in shambles, guys. I don't know how else to say it. Dave Rain is on the hot seat. Winning the Big 12 was exciting, but the last 2 seasons are not going his way, especially with the guys that are on the team. Number 3, Oklahoma, had a great win against Cincinnati. Low scoring game, but the defense is looking incredible. The defense has held their opponent to the last 4 weeks under 20 points. Not even getting to 20, just getting 20 points. Incredible stuff. Kansas, number 4, Kansas State, I'm sorry. Kansas State, number 4. I believe they beat UCF this week. High scoring matchup. UCF was in the battle for a little bit, but Kansas State, it was in Manhattan. The energy was there. Manhattan brings the party. I got to go to one of those games against UCF. That's going to be amazing. Then we have TCU 1-0, beating SMU in the Battle of Dallas. SMU getting that $100 million donation and doing nothing with it yet. Wait till they join the ACC, guys. That's going to be an amazing thing for the conference. But TCU gets the dub there. West Virginia, number 6, beating Tech. Again, Joey McGuire is also on the hot seat for the Big 12. Not getting those dubs. He should have secured the dub against Oregon. That was a brutal loss. But now losing to West Virginia, one of the worst conferences last year, with no quarterback, losing JT Daniels, it's not a good look. Iowa State 1-0. I mean, they're embarrassing. They play Oklahoma next week. That's going to be a good matchup for Oklahoma getting into the Red River Showdown the following week. And that's pretty much for the 1-0 guys. That here are the losers for the Big 12. Again, 0-1 UCF losing to Kansas State. That was brutal. BYU losing to Kansas. That was a great matchup. BYU, not the best debut, but they put up a match. They're going to be a difficult opponent in the future. Oklahoma State, they're in shambles. Mike Gundy's not on the hot seat because he will never lose that spot. Oklahoma State's not looking the best. They got to rebuild. Houston, not a great win in the conference, but they did get the win this week against, I believe, Sam Houston State. So they got the building up the record there. Texas Tech, again, Joe McGuire's on the hot seat, not looking good, and then dead last. Baylor Bears. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? I live in Waco. You guys were leaving in the third quarter. It was unbelievable. They got to get new players. They got to enter the transfer portal. They have to assess the problem of the defense, the O-line, and they got to get that figured out real fast. Yeah, let's get over the scores for it. So last week, Oklahoma Cincinnati 20-6. Dylan Gabriel balling out. Bro is that guy. I'm not gonna lie, guys. So when Emory Jones has got to get away from the quarterback position. Dude throws 2 picks. It's unbelievable. And then early on is the SMU TCU game. I mean, that was a pretty close game from the beginning, and the TCU just took away from it. And then BYU Kansas, again, high scoring game. Jay Daniels not the most yards, 130 passing, 50 rushing, about 2 TDs. But it was the defensive effort from Kansas that I liked. I mean, they're scoring on the defense side of the ball and on the offensive side of the ball. It's just looking great for that team right now. Now, I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not calling them overrated or underrated. I think they're perfectly rated in the top 25. I believe they're number 24. We'll get into the AP polls as well real quick, but I wanted to get to Big 12. And then I'll get into the SEC as well. Oklahoma and Texas heading into the SEC for next year. We got to get, familiar with the competition, familiar with what's ahead of us, because I don't want to, just be blinded by the Big 12, but I will be discussing that as well when Colorado, Arizona State come in. That's going to be an exciting time. So that's why I'm building up this channel now. so we can get that, so we can get into next year. So we're planning for the future, guys. So let me know, comment down below what other things I need to, ideas, teams to talk about, information. Hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on TikTok, Instagram. I'm on all of it. I'm posting daily. I'm trying to post daily, at least posting weekly. But let's get into the SEC schedule. So standings for the East, we have Florida 1-0, Georgia 1-0, Kentucky 1-0. Missouri is yet to play competition, but they're 4-0. They're having great wins. Luther Burden is that dude. I called that in the very first video. Watch it back. Brady Cook is a good quarterback. South Carolina 1-1, Tennessee 0-1, Vandy 0-1. Tennessee not off to the best start. And they have the players. They had all this hype in the world. Not losing to Florida, not losing to Florida. But what happened? It's unbelievable. SEC West, LSU 2-0. They do have that one loss, so they might sneak in. They had to win it all, though, to get into that playoffs. Alabama 1-0. You know they're going to put up a fight after that sorry loss against Texas. A&M 1-0. Absolutely destroyed Auburn. Auburn's in shambles, I believe. I mean, 10 points in Cal Field. Not the best look. Arkansas 0-1. Hard fought against LSU. But they just got to get better playmakers on the field like LSU does. They just have better difference makers. Auburn 0-1. Terrible. Ole Miss 0-1. Scraping by against Alabama. Losing to the worst Alabama team since probably 7, maybe. I mean, this is a horrible Alabama team. And then Mississippi State 0-2. I mean, rest in peace, Mike Leach. I mean, they just got to do some rebuilding. Let's go into the scores. Yeah, A&M beats Auburn 27-10. It was really a close game until the second half. But then I think the running game just took over. Moss with 97 yards. There's 3 TDs in that second half. They know how to close out games right now. It's good. I mean, Kentucky absolutely destroyed Vanderbilt. I don't even know if they still have their stadium up. Leary's throwing 205. The rushing looks good. Receptions are 105. I mean, it's looking great over there. Alabama, I mean, I'm glad they finally found their quarterback. Their quarterback had to be found, and I'm glad they found it there. Tennessee absolutely destroys UTSA, but yet they got to get some conference wins to get in the competition. Florida absolutely destroys Charlotte. LSU close one by against Arkansas, like I said, and then Georgia had a slow start to UAB, but then they turned up the notch. Then Missouri beats Memphis in a non-conference. South Carolina doesn't destroy Mississippi State, but gets a good win. Bro throws for 288. Wow, Will Rogers had 487. Bro's throwing the rock. That's pretty much the coverage for the SEC and Big 12 for right now. We're gonna look into the next week's schedule real quick, but first I want to talk about what just happened. A 5-star offensive tackle, number 1 in the nation, recruiting to Texas. And what does this mean? This means money talks, and Texas has the money to talk. They're getting the best players in the nation to build the best recruiting class for the SEC. Don't think Oklahoma's not doing this as well. They're also obviously becoming probably a top 10 recruiting class right now as we speak. They have a destroying defensive line right now. Brent Venables is getting the players he wants to build that team. And so is Steve Sarkisian. He's getting the players, the offensive side. He's getting his players that he wants as well. It's going to be a great thing for these two teams to join in the SEC. And I think they're going to dominate. Unlike what other people may say, what other people might think, we know who are blue bloods and we know who aren't blue bloods. Unbelievable stuff. So let's talk into next week. Let's get right back to the Big 12, guys. Cincinnati versus BYU on Friday night. I mean, this is the debut between both newcomers facing each other. I'm gonna give the edge to BYU. I like how they played against. They didn't play perfectly against Kansas, but if they lose the mistakes, they win this game easy. Cincinnati cannot complete a red zone touchdown. They can't get a red zone touchdown. It's unbelievable. They can only score field goals so far. It's not a great look. And then we head to Austin, Texas versus Kansas. That's going to be a great matchup. I think Texas does take the win, though, but I think Kansas gives out a hard-fought game. I'm looking like 30, 34, 24, something in that range. Next up, then we go to UCF and Baylor. I'm giving this to UCF, guys. UCF, I think they can score points. Baylor can't. Baylor can't score a touchdown either. So give me UCF in that one. Baylor, you have some really, really big changes to make. Get some walk-ons. Do whatever you can, please. Tech and Houston at Tech. I'm gonna get Tech on this one. I mean, Joey McGuire has the players. He has ball makers. I mean, look what he did against Oregon. I think he could do that against Houston as well. Even though Houston beat, a D2, D3 school, give me Tech. Iowa State versus at Oklahoma. Give me Oklahoma. Obviously, Matt Campbell is on the hot seat as well. Oklahoma is just cooking right now with the top 5 scoring offense and scoring defense. Iowa State just doesn't have the players that they used to in 2019, 2018, 2017. So give me Oklahoma. Then in the night, in the Big 12, TCU versus West Virginia at Dallas or Fort Worth. Give me TCU. Sonny Dykes has his ball players in that team, and I expect him to go in there and crush West Virginia, who previously last year was not good, but seems to be making improvements this year. That's my predictions for the Big 12, guys. Let's get into the SEC now. Boom. A&M and Arkansas. I'm giving this to A&M on the road, taking the dub. I know Jefferson's a baller, but I think A&M has the defensive players to stop Arkansas. Plus the receiving core to, I think, cook Arkansas just like LSU did. Florida heads to Kentucky. This is gonna be a tough matchup. Give me Kentucky. Give me Leary balling out, throwing the rock, and getting Florida out of that top 25. Then we head into Georgia heading to Auburn. Auburn's a hot mess, guys. Georgia has been kind of a slow start, but I expect them to absolutely roll Auburn. Auburn, this is not your year, guys. Try next one. And then Missouri hands to Vanderbilt, which I don't even know if they're playing on a stadium. But give me Missouri. I love the receiving core. I love the offensive line. I love the quarterback there. Missouri's going to be... I'm glad they're back. A little bit back. We'll see how it goes. And then LSU heads to Ole Miss. This is going to be a close matchup, guys. At home, I hope Jackson Dart can be able to not make the mistakes he did last week and throw those interceptions. So I'm going to give him Ole Miss at home. I mean, that's going to be a hard environment for Jane Daniels, but if he can come over... I mean, they're the top 15 team. If they get the dub, I won't be surprised. But I'm hoping for some upsets. And South Carolina heads to Tennessee. Joe Milton should be able to hold his own in Knoxville against Spencer Rattler and the Gamecocks. South Carolina has ballers, but I don't think they're beating Tennessee. I can't believe 0-1 in the SEC and they're ranked 21. That's kind of... it should be based on wins, not looks. And then Alabama heads to Mississippi State. Give me Alabama. They just go in there and roll over them. Mississippi State's going to be... they'll be good next year with the building crew the recruiting that they're getting, but give me Alabama for right now. And that's pretty much, the Big 12 schedule that happened so far. Let's actually get into the AP polls right now. So yeah, Georgia was remaining at number 1. Makes sense. Michigan State at number 2. I believe they beat Bowling Green. Rutgers pretty bad. Texas remains at number 3, absolutely destroying Baylor. Ohio State, what a close game in Notre Dame. I mean, literally last second run in. Ryan Day still has beef with Lou Holtz till this day, and he'll probably still forever. Florida State drops that spot to Clemson because they went to OT with Clemson. They lost that spot to Ohio State, and then Penn State gains a spot, absolutely murdering Iowa. Offensive coordinator might be on the hot seat as well. Burrow has to score at least 25 points per game, and he scored 0. So not looking good, guys. Washington moves up a spot, absolutely destroying California. USC drops 3 spots. Even though they won 42-28, it seems that those other wins were more impressive than what USC is going for. There's a lot of Pac-12 teams in this top 25, guys. I don't know why they're dominating so much. I do know because the recruiting class, the quarterbacks that they have. This is their last year there, too. They're trying to get a statement before leaving this conference. Oregon remains at number 9, or moves up from number 9. I can't believe they're not above USC or Washington. They're absolutely destroying teams. They beat Colorado 42-6. Utah moves up a spot. I think Utah's better than all those teams. Beats UCLA 14-7. They need Cam Rising back, and I think they'll be a killer team. Notre Dame drops 2 spots from losing to Ohio State, which is fair. Right out of the top 10. Alabama moves up a spot, beating Ole Miss. LSU drops a spot. Oklahoma gains 2 spots, beating Cincinnati. North Carolina is up 2 spots. Washington State up 5 spots, beating Oregon State. That was a great game. Definitely a shootout. I believe Duke plays North Carolina next week. That's going to be an interesting matchup. They beat UConn 41-7. Utah moves up 2. Miami moves up 2 spots. Oregon State drops 5. Ole Miss drops 5. Tennessee moves up 2. Florida 22. Missouri, Kansas, and Fresno State are newcomers in the top 25, guys. That'll be it for today. I just want to talk about how the Big 12 and the SEC are doing so far. Then the AP top polls. I'm gonna try making some reels out. Let me know if y'all need any suggestions from me. I'll be uploading. I'll be answering to y'all. Make sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate everything. Support the Patreon down below, and y'all have a great day. Appreciate y'all.